What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with the Imagine Life Development Center, and I'm here to do the mid-June to mid-July readings for my Geminis out there. So if you're new to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you click the like, share, comment, subscribe, all the buttons. Everything else you need to know is in the description box below. And in this reading, we're going to be taking a look at Geminis looking for love or anything having to do with your love life and relationship. And again, this will be good between mid-June, so it's like the 19th right now, to about the middle of July. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the current hurdles, obstacles, and challenges you're facing in love. We're going to take a look at the advice. So this is like the most important part of the reading. And then we're going to take a look at the outcome. So what you can expect if you listen to the advice. All right. So let's shuffle the cards and let's see what you guys can expect here. Also want to say happy birthday to my Geminis out there. All right. So what is the major hurdle, obstacle, and challenge that you guys are facing right now in love? So we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is telling me that you guys might be struggling, and I will clarify all these, but the Ace of Wands is telling me that right now you guys could be struggling with just feeling, inspired to really do anything with love right now, basically. Like you're just wondering, like, if is it worth it right now? So you're having a hard time feeling that passion, that desire, feeling motivated really in terms of love. The hurdle, obstacle, the advice rather, is the Emperor. The advice is about taking charge. The Emperor is Aries energy. So you could have been dealing with an Aries at some point, in your life recently. It doesn't have to be, but I just mentioned it for those who like to know about it. But the advice here is basically all about you, deciding what you want, being the leader of your life, and going for it, because the Emperor is the ultimate action taker, right? Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's all about taking action. It's all about being a leader, being independent, going for it, going after what you want in life, and, no retreat, no surrender kind of thing. No, being very unapologetic in your pursuits in life, your ambitions in life. So if you decide to go after what you want, and I'm going to clarify everything, then the outcome is the Eight of Pentacles here. The Eight of Pentacles is all about creating something, building something, right? Creating the life that you desire, creating the relationship that you desire here. And so going back to the challenge here with the Ace of Wands, it's interesting. So we have two energies, two fire energies, and then we have this Pentacles energy, but this is pseudo Wands energy because the hammer is something that has to be used, right? So in other words, if you don't pick the hammer up, you want to build something and you need a hammer, you never pick the hammer up, well, then it's never going to get built, right? The idea can stay in your mind forever. We can dream of things all we want, but until we pick the hammer up and actually use it, nothing ever gets created, right? Which is what the Emperor energy in the advice section is saying. The Emperor is the person who has to wield the hammer in a sense. And he's got this little thing here in his other hands, and his other hand, I'm going to try to get up close to the camera here. So if you look to the left there, in his left hand here, the opposite of the little ball, he's got that little, I know what it's called. I think it's called an ankh, if I'm not mistaken. But, it could be used in a sense as a hammer. So just pretend that's the hammer that's right here. So this is you, Gemini, with your hammer in your hand, and you're sitting on your throne, and you got the ball, which we might consider is a globe or a world or a crystal ball, and it's a metaphor of what it is you desire. What do I want to create? I got the whole world in my hand. What do I want? I got to use my hammer to build it and create it as the outcome. And you will. If you use the hammer, which is the advice is to use the hammer, you'll get what you want. But you have to take action to get it. And so, but right now, because the Ace of Wands, which is interesting, because this could also, you can also think of this as a hammer. It's almost like right now you're lacking the inspiration and motivation to use it for whatever reason. So let's find out more. Why is the Ace of Wands here in the hurdles, obstacles, and challenge position? Okay, well, that one just went on the floor. I have to reach down and grab that. I think it was the 3 or 4. I think it was a Wands energy. I'm not sure which one. Okay, we have the Devil. Seven of Wands. Okay, so the Seven of Wands and the Devil. The Seven of Wands and the Devil, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Pentacles. So basically right now, you're in this kind of protective mode. You're in this mode where you feel like you need to guard yourself. So you're in your fortress here. The Four of Pentacles is a fortress type of energy. You've got your heart locked away. You're focused on your security. You're focused on staying in your comfort zone. You got yourself on lockdown here. Why? Because you're guarded here. The Seven of Wands is being guarded. It's standing your ground. You feel very... something has happened to you where you feel like you needed to, right? Like we don't protect ourselves for no reason. People don't become protective and guarded for no reason. Something happened. Well, something happened to you with this Devil energy. Obviously, you know, this is either something that's going on currently in your life, but I really feel like it's a past energy. And so you could have been dealing with the Capricorn because the Devil energy is Capricorn energy, but I don't think that that's what this is about. I think that in your past, you were dealing with a lot of toxic people, a lot of toxic situations. Something happened here that was very toxic with this Devil energy, and, you know, you're done with it. You're okay, you know what? And for some of you, maybe you were meeting a bunch of people or going out on dates or finding yourself in situations where it was mostly about, you know, sex and passion, or you felt like people were just using you for sex, or it never got past the infatuation phase, or maybe that person had an addiction and it was affecting you. And so it's really affected your motivation. It's really affected your inspiration to really want to do anything, because you're like, you know what? Love and relationships, maybe the dating world is a shit show right now, and I'm just feeling very uninspired to do anything. Everyone is toxic. Everyone's got problems, and I don't want any part of it with being in this defensive mode here, right? So that's kind of the energy I see you in. So let's go to the advice here. Why is the Emperor here? So the Emperor is asking you to basically transcend that. In other words, yeah, we all go through, you know, moments in our life where we feel uninspired, we feel beat down, things don't go the way that we want, other people treat us wrong, treat us bad, we have bad experiences, and if we're not careful, then we'll fall into the trap of becoming defined by the negative experiences that we have, right? And so I have a saying, never lower the standard of who you are based on the experiences you have with someone else, right? Because of course, there's always opportunities for us to get screwed over, hurt, and heartbroken when we put ourselves out there. And sometimes we have those experiences back to back to back to back. And after you've had so many of them, you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to have that experience anymore. But we have to be careful not to become so cynical and jaded no matter how many experiences we have, right? So many years ago, you know, I had an experience where I was kind of in this exact energy. I was like, you know what? Screw relationships. I've tried. And no matter how much effort I put in, no matter what I do, I can't, it just never works out for me. And I had this experience, and it's a longer story, but basically my higher power was like, if you're not willing to go through 1,000 divorces, you'll never be ready for marriage. Why was that significant to me? It was because divorce was one of the most painful things I'd ever gone through. And that really, it put me in this energy, this Seven of Wands energy, where I was like, you know, I expected all women, you know, to betray me. I had a belief that seed would have been planted in my mind because of what my ex-wife did to me. And I was like, man, well, maybe I'll be cheated on again. I'll be cheated on again. And so that seed began to grow into a small baby devil energy. But then my higher power intervened and said, if you're not willing to go through 1,000 of those, you'll never be ready for marriage, because marriage was what I want. I wanted a long-term relationship, right? And so the Emperor that's the challenge, is saying, hey, no matter how many breakups if you have to go through 1,000 breakups to find love, if you have to go through 1,000 betrayals to find, a faithful partner, it's worth it. Love is always worth it. So you have to be careful of allowing our negative experiences to affect us in such a way where we give up on our hopes, dreams, goals, and desires, instead of rising above it, becoming the Emperor and saying, hey, look, I know it hurts and it sucks for me to have to keep going through this, but I have the power. I have whatever it takes within me to rise above it and to defeat this. But I have to take action. It's up to me to conquer this, right? And so we have a King of Cups energy. It's the Emperor's being clarified by the King of Cups energy. So this is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and the Eight of Swords. So what this is basically saying is, don't allow your emotions, your feelings about what's happened to you in the past to put you in this Eight of Swords energy. And now this could be a physical person that's making you overthink, put yourself in victim mentality, woe's me, all relationships sucks, everyone's a cheater, blah, 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 everything that I just said. That could have been a result of somebody that was a water sign that hurt you, that potentially put you in this Eight of Swords energy. Or it's simply saying that this is you in an emotional state, and because you're experiencing the negative emotions of what happened to you in the past, it's creating a negative narrative, a negative story, a meaning that you're associating, which is preventing you from stepping into your power, right? It's putting you into a state of powerlessness, which is what the Eight of Swords is, right? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands. And so it's this Eight of Swords and either this person or these strong feelings and emotions that are making you feel weighed down, and you feel like it's something that you can't overcome, right? Because you fed the devil, which is really you feeding the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is just minor arcana version of the devil energy. When you feed that negative story in your brain and our mind, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we start to believe it more and more and more because we feel it more and more and more. That becomes our reality. And so it makes it very difficult for us to overcome it with the Emperor energy. However, the Emperor is saying you can. The Emperor always overcomes. The Emperor is capable of overcoming anything. The Emperor drives the Chariot. The Chariot card is all about overcoming hurdles, obstacles, and challenges, etc. Okay? So the advice is saying, step into your power, overcome the negative feelings, emotions, thoughts, stories about whatever's happened to your past so you can build your future here. And get out from this and let go of this burden that you're being holding on to with the Ten of Wands. So why is the Eight of Pentacles here? Not that we really need to know, because the Eight of Pentacles speaks for itself, saying you can have whatever you want. You can build the future. The outcome is yours for the taking. Whatever you want, you have the power within you. It's almost like the Emperor is almost has like a magician type of vibe. You have all the tools and resources. A hammer is a tool to get the life, or create the life that you want, including the relationship. Now we have the Knight of Pentacles, right? So this is all about the Eight of Pentacles clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, and one more. And Temperance, yeah, exactly. Sagittarius energy. So this is saying to take your time, that you have to be patient when it comes to life. Now, you're an air sign, right? And sometimes, and I get it, we all have a little bit of everything in our chart. Earth, water, air, fire, right? This is saying you need to be more patient with yourself in the way that you're handling this, because you're not going to flip a switch and get out of this, this Eight of Swords energy. And you can't rush certain things. You can't get in a rush and go, well, I just met somebody and they're a player and this, that, and the other. And, they didn't want to have a future with me in 90 days. Like they didn't, Like it's saying the future that you want to build, it takes time, right? When you plant a seed, it takes time for that seed to grow. When you're building a true commitment with somebody, it takes time to build a long-term commitment. It's not going to happen overnight, right? And so you have to be patient with yourself, and you have to be patient in the process of what it is that what you desire. And just because you don't start to see immediate results doesn't mean that something isn't happening. And that has to do with the universe too, because temperance is the angel energy. Temperance is major arcana. And besides it being about patience, balance, moderation, healing, and all of that, it's also divine intervention. It means basically for every one step that you take towards building your future hopes, dreams, and desires, the universe, God, source, the universe, your higher power, is willing to take 10, So things are happening behind the scenes, but the only thing that would stop you is your own free will. You stay stuck in this 8 of Swords energy, you're not going to move anywhere, right? Whereas if at least you use the power that you have, every time you hammer a nail, right? Going back to the hammer analogy, every time you hammer a nail into something, you'll never have to go back and hammer that nail again, right? That's it. It's like once you hammer that nail, you take the next nail, put the next nail in the next board, and you just keep going. And eventually, all those nails will eventually build a structure, right? And so the Knight of Pentacles and Temperance is saying that you need to take your time, not skip steps, not get in a hurry, not get in a rush, and not to think that things aren't happening just because you're not seeing the entirety of the end result all at once here, okay? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands. And so the Knight of Wands is tied to the Emperor saying, hey, take action, okay? Take inspired action. That's what the Knight of Wands is in this regard. Passionate, forward action taking, right? Inspired action, which is counteracting the challenge over here. The Ace of Wands is a lack of inspiration in the challenge position. So we could almost look at this Ace of Wands as the Ace of Wands in reverse because it's in the challenge column. So it's saying lack of passion, lack of motivation, lack of inspiration. Whereas the Knights are action takers. The Knight is over here, the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles together are an infusion. On one hand, you have, this is the opposite. This is the Ace of Wands upright. That's what he's got in his hand. Take action. Get back into your passion. Get back into, let's get this. Let's go after it. Let's make it happen. Let's go for what we want in life, right? No more waiting around. No more lingering and staying in victim mentality here. Step into the Emperor mode. But you also have to have this Knight of Pentacles. You have to know when to pull the reins back. Don't skip steps. You have to be methodical in your approach. You have to follow through. You have to be consistent. You have to, when you start a project, you start building something, you can't abandon it on your lunch break and go, oh, it'll never get built. It's like, no, it's you built it. You already built half the thing. It's already halfway done. After your lunch break, go back there and finish the job, finish the project, right? And so don't lose sight of the greater picture, the big picture of what you're desiring in your future in your relationship, just because it takes time for you to build it and create it. Okay. So Gemini, I hope that makes sense for you guys. Again, happy birthday for you all. And again, this reading will be between now and about mid-July. I will be back to do the early July readings probably the next week or two. Also, hopefully we'll get a few other readings out there between now and then as well. I'm trying to wrap up writing a second book, so most of my time is going into that right now. And hit the bell notification icon as well, and come join me for a free live tarot reading. Hopefully I'll get back to doing those more consistently as well. But if you found this information useful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys very soon. And as always, my friends, love and light.